me just finish getting set up here. How's everybody doing? I'll give everybody a couple minutes to file in and join the stream if they're gonna join the stream. I'm in a little bit of a different location, see if it works better. It was a little too bright in the garden still, a lot of sun. This is my back garden. Along the alleyway, I've got some corn growing back here. Shades out around 2-3 o'clock, and a bunch of green beans down that way. See how they do in part shade garden. Yeah, last talking with him. There we go. Bad connection for a minute. Sorry about the buffering. Okay, so had a couple questions come in that I wanted to touch on. Let me just switch over so that I can see the comments. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me now, Jen. Sorry about that. Let me actually fix this and maybe get an even better sound. Give me just a second. Oh. Alright, is the sound better, worse? Let me know. Perfect. Alright, cool. So, I had a question come in from... Let's see, who did I have a question from? Sorry about that. Scarlet Isabel. I had a question from Scarlet Isabel. She was saying that she lives in the southeast and wondering what would be some good veggies to plant in the fall. So in the fall in the southeast, if you're planting right now, you can probably still plant your summer crops going into the fall. Beans, squash, and carrots. All great for planting right now, going in the summer, going into the fall. Going deeper into the fall, you may even be able to push out 2 batches of carrots and 2 batches of beans still. But I would be switching over in a couple months to more of your root crops, your beets, your your, oh, what is it? Your turnips, those types of things, cabbages, kale, collards in the south especially. Seeing if I lost messages. Nope, still same. Alright, cool. Jen, do you have any questions? Let me know in the chat if you have any questions before I go on to the next one that I had gotten ahead. Peppers are getting eaten up by something. Is it the peppers themselves, or is it... Okay, the leaves. Okay, gotcha. So, with pepper leaves, are you having wet weather? Like, could it be slugs? Or do you think it's more of a caterpillar? Or what size holes are they? That would help a lot to know. Okay, haven't seen any slugs. Do see the small bites. Being really wet and it being on pepper leaves, it's still leading me to believe that it's slugs or snails. If it's not slugs and snails, I would say that you're probably looking at sorry. Let's see. I don't think that cucumber bugs don't get after them. I don't think that squash bugs would either. Yeah, on peppers, I really don't know what it is. I feel like I moved into the jungle. It's like a rainforest, bugs galore. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's normally, from what I understand, it's normally not like that. Neighbor mentioned a powder. Oh, so yes, definitely. The powder would be DE, diatomaceous earth. That would take care of most soft-bodied bugs. Putting out slug traps, like saucers with beer in them, will do a good job of collecting and drowning the slugs and snails. So, applying the powder, so with DE, there are special dust applicators. They kind of have a ball puffer, or it looks like a little accordion, and it can suck up powder into it, and it puffs the powder out. The powder is so fine, it's like cornstarch or talcum powder, and it's sharp and dehydrating to insects. It can also just get thrown onto it, pinched and flicked if you don't have the applicator. Sprinkled on the top of the plants can do it too. Planting green beans, geez. I soak my green bean seeds for like 3 hours before I plant them. Plant them about 1 inch deep, 6 to 8 inches apart. Is it a pole bean or a bush bean? That'll make a difference on if you want to have a trellis and or a TP, that type of thing. If it's a bush bean, it doesn't need any extra support. You just plant it up in rows. I have a oh geez, these beans over here are a semi bush, so they can do without any support, but I'm finding that with support they're doing better. Yeah, bush bean on a fence line is perfect. Yeah, or pole bean on a fence line is perfect. Yeah, the pole beans that I've been liking are Kentucky Wonder and Rattlesnake, but Blue Lake pole bean is also a good one. Which variety of pole bean are you planting? I'll go on to Trisha C. I had a comment from Trisha C. And she said that they had 3 beautiful ripe tomatoes the other day. 2 of them had big bite marks in them from the neighborhood rat pack. Okay, so I was thinking that it might have been pack rat. If it's a pack rat, um, she goes on to say, we've lost our melons, tomatoes, zucchinis, and even butternut squash because of the rats. We've tried everything except for poison, which we won't do. Just ordered little fruit and veggie bags from Amazon. They'll arrive tomorrow, so I'm praying that works. Don't know what else to do. We've tried rat traps, which are gross, and the ones that don't die still eat everything. Tried the ultrasonic plug-in device, and it didn't help. In fact, it's plugged in, and my hubby has spent many nights sitting outside with a pellet gun. Does anyone have ideas? And they still come to eat us out of our house. So, yeah, Trisha, I hope it's Trisha C. If it's pack rats, I know that they are actually attracted to the plug-in sonic devices. And if it's those, turn off your sonic device. It's probably drawing them in. Also, if they have any brush or shrubbery around, they like making their hidey holes, their nests in the shrubbery. So that's something to think about. As to what else will get rid of them, trying a predator urine as a deterrent, can also sometimes be helpful. Other smells like peppermint, citronella, some people say they work, some people say they don't. So I hope I can help you out, Trisha C. And I really hope those bags work too. Okay, so LAC, planted tomatoes, super leggy, no flowers. Super leggy and no flowers. When you planted them, you might have planted them high, or so you planted them from transplants, I'm assuming. I would actually go ahead and mound up some soil around the base of the stalk, give it a little bit more room for roots to develop around the stalk. I would also make sure that they're getting plenty of light wherever they're planted. And what's the weather been like? Have you been really cool in temperature still, or are you getting a normal year for you? Early girl and cherry tomatoes, most likely, depending on when you planted them, should be flowering and setting fruit. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, the tomato that I've managed to have produced so far is an early girl. I have a few other tomato plants, they've all got a bunch of green tomatoes on them, and I'm just waiting for them to finish ripening up. We've been super cool and wet throughout June, that it wasn't until we were until recently that we had any warm nights at all. You got unusually hot a few weeks ago, and now it's cloudy and temperate. So they probably got used to the heat, and then it clouded over and went temperate. They really like nights to be above 60 degrees to be their most productive. I found that my tomatoes, they were starting to fruit. We were staying in the 50s overnight, and they were not turning ripe at all. Once we get back into the 60s, or once we started getting into the 60s at nighttime temperatures, is when our fruit started to ripen. So Jen says that my neighbors 5 acres down the hill have rats in their coop and was wondering if the rats are coming up our hill. They might be, if you have any food sources around that they would be interested in. If they take an interest in your garden, then you might end up with them. More often, they come to a yard for animal feed, because that's an easier source of food. So a lot like possum would come to a yard for dog, cat, or chicken, or other wildlife animal feeds. A rat will also do the same thing. Or if your garbage can is easy to get into, they'll come for your they'll come for your garbage that way too. So I can see that there's about 7 people in the chat or watching the stream. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat box down below if you've got any questions. It helps it helps me keep the stream going and make it a more informative video to have lots of questions and lots of people being active in the chat. This week, I'm finally getting potatoes harvested from batch potatoes that I planted back a few months ago. Well, going on 4 months ago now. I planted a bunch of potatoes with the long stems on them. I think I made the video calling them monster tentacle stems or stalks or something to that effect. Those ones are finally coming out this week. Had a decent turnout on the first batch. I probably could have let them go even longer because of the way the weather was. Oh, Trisha C, hi! So I answered your question already, but I can do a quick recap right now. For the rats, where are they? Pack rats? Do you know if they're pack rats or are they just regular rats? Because I know for sure that pack rats are actually attracted to those sonic devices. The sonic devices will work on regular mice. On pack rats, not so much. I'm not sure about regular rats. Is the wind getting too bad on the mic? It's actually really windy out here, but I have a sock on my microphone. Um, so anyways, I'm saying I've got my potatoes pulled out, or pulling my potatoes out of my main garden. Oh shoot. Okay. Yeah, that's the wind. It's a little bit louder than I would like. Sorry, I really can't do anything about it. My neighbors have a maple tree, and the wind is really blowing hard in it. Um, I'm gonna probably revitalize the bed, put a little bit more fertilizer into it. Just oh, a really low number organic fertilizer, just to add a little bit to it. And I'm gonna try planting some carrots in there. The carrots that I planted in my white bed, I made a video this week showing my white garden bed where I was trying my garden carrot experiment. They weren't oh geez, they didn't do well because of the herbicide that I believe is in the soil mix that I bought. LAC. I think I started my garden too late, so probably not gonna get much other than herbs and greens. Oh geez, LA, you're in Central California. You have a lot that you can still grow. It's you're what, a zone? Geez, are you mountainous, hilly? If not, you're probably a zone 8 or 9, right? MWB Arts. So our potatoes are flowering. Should we harvest? No. You wait till they actually start dying down. Flowering means that they are producing. The tubers are growing underneath, but they still have a lot of time left. Another couple weeks after they're done flowering is probably when you'll be able to harvest. It's when the leaves start dying back that you should harvest. Yeah, and LA, definitely zone 9. You can still be planting green beans, both pole and the bush varieties. You could still plant summer squash. Definitely can plant carrots and beets if you're interested in beets, turnips. It's still early to be planting your spinach or your lettuce. It's still early to be planting, at least early to be planting them out, your broccoli or cauliflower, but if you wanted to start them indoors, you could. Lettuce, if you're growing in a shady area, definitely can grow some lettuce right now in zone 9. And that about covers it. Yeah, no, most of your summer plants can still get planted in zone 9 right now. And more potatoes. If you're growing potatoes or you want to grow some potatoes, put another batch of potatoes in right now, a what's called an early season variety, and you'll be able to get another harvest of potatoes out before the weather turns too nasty in the fall. So zone 9 is a really easy one to grow in right now. I'm in zone 8. I'm still gonna plant more potatoes. You've never done potatoes? Definitely try potatoes. They're easy to grow. You just need some well-draining soil. So if your soil is decent for growing in general, I'd say if you can grow a tomato in it, you can grow a potato in it. I'm growing my some of my potatoes directly in the ground, and it firms up still. They are not a heavy feeder. I would add a little bit of compost, some organic compost into the soil, and they will love you for it. And at the when they flower, if you're wanting to add a little bit more of something to the soil, you can add some bone meal or something else that has potassium that helps with root development. You don't want to add any more nitrogen after it goes to flower though, because it will it'll have issues. You'll get a lot more leaf development. Your roots won't really develop much. Nope. Here's another big breeze of wind. So anyways, as I was saying, carrots are going to go in there. Adding a couple more cucumbers in still right now. I'm zone 8, and I've got some of them started, but I'm adding them in. And I'll probably be trying to plant some more lettuce and some more spinach in August or even into September. October is when I would go for planting a garlic. If you get the garlic clove, break it up, and try planting some hardneck garlic, it would be October or November, going in closer to the first frost dates of your area. You want to be a couple of months before first frost. Little bit about my website. I have a website, darkagegrowing.net. In case you haven't found it or hadn't seen that I had a website, I sell heirloom seeds in it, and I've got my pre-order opened up for sunchokes again, because during the summertime I can't sell sunchokes, but I'm going to be, or I can't ship sunchokes. The tubers aren't well developed in the summer. That's when they're developing. Oh no, LAC. I don't know what you missed. Potatoes definitely can be grown. Shorter season potato can be planted now and to be grown through the fall. Just fix your garden soil with a bunch of compost, and then after they get to flowering, or they're starting to flower, add a little bit of bone meal or bone and blood to the soil as a organic amendment. Yeah, I've got my website, got my seeds that are up on my website right now. 5-foot tall sunchokes in the pot. Came back at garlic. Okay, so yeah, garlic can be planted right now. Well, no, garlic can't be planted right now. Sorry about that. That should be planted later, closer to your frost date, in 6 weeks or so before frost. Salt shaker, yes, salt shaker for the diatomaceous earth, perfect. Yep, that's a great way of doing it. Hey, cat. You're laying in my sweet potatoes, cat. That's Jasper. Hey, come here. Get over here. You over here. Says nope. Says nope, nope, nope. I'm comfy. Yeah, so Sunchokes, I've got them back up on my website as a pre-order now, and I'm getting ready to put a batch of my grandpa's knives. He hand forges knives. I have 4 of them. They're all unique. Hand forged knives from bed rails and farriers rasps. They're really cool. I'll be putting pictures of them up soon. Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard a cat meowing earlier. Thought it was my cat. Wonder if it wasn't coming. Wonder why it wasn't coming when I called. That's funny, LA. Yeah. No, my kitty cat. Come here. Come here, Jasper. I know. Yeah, he's got some really good knives going. Um, they're all um, full tang, really good steel, really good steel. And I mean, Farrier's rafts are extremely hard steel, so they'll be sharp and they'll keep their edge for a long time. Um, all right. So I'll be putting out videos this week on hopefully Tuesday and Thursday. I missed my Tuesday video this last week. I've got the kale video ready to post. I showed just a little bit of the harvesting, putting it on the dehydrator, getting it all ready to be processed, and then 2 ways of packing it in a glass mason jar to make it last longer. That should be my Tuesday video. And then Thursday, I think I'll have a video on the Grand Solar Minimum. So a little bit more information on where I feel we're going with the weather, how crazy the world is, and just a little bit more about the natural world as some people believe. Too warm in zone 8 to put lettuce in right now. Should I wait till September? In a shady location, you could still grow lettuce as a baby green. I wouldn't try to grow it much past baby green stage. So it would be the leaf lettuce that I would want to put in, and use it as a cut and come again. Is it let's see now. Thoughts on strawberry blight? Wet weather. Okay, so making sure that your soil is well draining. Probably planting them in containers would be best, with the strawberries not touching the ground. If you can, definitely containers. If you can't, laying down very loose straw or another type of mulch that would keep them from touching the surface too much. Excuse me. Somebody's got a car alarm going off. Ah, good. They fixed it. So strawberry blight, something that we're going to be seeing a lot of in the areas that you're getting a lot of moisture. Do I have leaf lettuce seeds on my site right now? I have a few varieties of leaf lettuce seed on the site, and I'm hoping to add a few more. I also have a couple of romaine lettuce varieties, one or two that I'm going to be adding to the site soon, and I think I have a Paris Island variety that's already on the website. And going along with the strawberry blight, if there's older leaves from the strawberry plant themselves, pinch them off if they're looking like they're getting into any type of disease or dying back on them. And that'll help too. Just clearing out the extra leaves that might be sitting directly underneath the strawberry fruit or the strawberry leaves. Clearing the extra out, and making sure that there's plenty of airflow. That could be another issue. Just not enough airflow getting in through the plant. So possibly trimming out even just extra large leaves that are not necessarily already being affected by the blight, but they're close to the areas that you feel are receiving less airflow. Thanks. Thanks to Deliberately Creative. I hope to see you on the site. Let's see. So it is 4:45. I can go for another 5-10 minutes if you have any more questions. I'd love to answer them for you now. And I'll also be keeping an eye on this video for the next day or two for more questions to come in, and I can answer those in the comment section of this video. After a few days though, and you have questions, put them into the next video or into a post on my community tab, and they'll either get answered directly in the community tab or in my next Q&A video next weekend. The rat advice, peppermint, raw garlic didn't help. Yeah, definitely unplug the ultrasonic device. Try the citronella. If you have, like I was saying, if you have brush that you can do a little bit of cleaning underneath of that they might be hiding in the brush. Some people say that you have to burn their nests so that they stop using the nest sites to keep coming back from. So if you can find the nest, destroy the nest, possibly even burn it, and use a predator's urine or musk scent that you can probably buy at like a Tractor Supply or another feed store, and place that in and around the brushy areas where you think they hide during the day. I really hope that helps. Let me know if it does. And if it doesn't, I can do a little more research on the rats. Were you able to figure out what type of rat they are? Are they a pack rat, or are they just a regular city/barn/sewer style rat? Those are probably more annoying and just not pleasant to deal with. The pack rats, they have a regular habit. They like to go to one location and hide in one location. The rats keep moving, as far as I can tell. It's actually a nice day up here. What's the weather been like for you guys? This week's been in the 80s for the most part. Yeah, what's the weather been like in other parts of the country? Up here, up until this week, we've been in the 70s and for the highs and 50s for the lows. We've been in the 80s, going into the 90s next week, and our lows should be in the 60s. And we're looking like we're going to be dry for the next week or two, getting some good weather finally, letting everything start to develop. Anybody else having issues with blossom end rot on their squash or tomatoes? I've been finding ways of fixing that. Okay, yeah, you're a little bit behind on the video stream. That's fine, Trisha. uh, oh wow, it really cooled down in California. So you're getting more of our clouds. A little bit of rain, or still staying dry. 117 in Phoenix. Ouch. But your is going strong. That's good. That's great. Do you use a shade cloth for parts of your garden when you have heat like that? Or are you growing in areas that get part shade? That's about the only way I'd be able to grow much of anything if I got up to that heat. I know down there you've got a lot of different plants than what I'd be able to grow up here. Are you doing any sweet potatoes or things like that? Misty and foggy in Central California. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you along with me for a quick tour of the garden. So down here, my sweet potatoes are still way behind where they would probably be if I was growing them in full sun or if I'd started them sooner. This is a variety of corn called, I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hold on. Let me fix my microphone now that I'm behind the camera. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I have a little invader that I want to show you guys. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this so that you guys can focus on him. Sorry about this. There we go. I have a grasshopper. Yeah, little grasshopper. Fun. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Focus. Nope, not wanting to focus on it. Oh well. That's fine. Well, I would give him to my chickens, but I think he's just gonna get squashed this time. Alright, so anyways, purple speckled giant corn. Really unique variety. trying that out. Got it from a friend of mine, Matt Powers. Uh, he's a really great guy. I don't know how well it's liking it back here because it doesn't get a full day of sun, but it's doing all right. Over here, I'm growing some horticultural bean. I believe this one is dragon's tongue. So that's kind of pretty, gonna be really cool. I have a Hoden pumpkin plant down here. That one's growing, growing from seed that I just kind of threw out here last fall, put out a pumpkin. Oh, hello, Stephen Wright. Over here, I have my sunchokes. They're, oh geez, what is this now? This is 6-7 feet tall. Yeah, 6 to 7 feet tall up here. And at the farthest point, I've got some that are pushing 8 feet tall. Those are up close to my garden where they're getting a little bit better soil. What these are growing in over here was a gravel patch just 2 years ago. Put down a couple inches of soil and then planted the sunchokes directly into it. Earlier this year, I planted some sunchokes in a container, and they are doing good. Obviously, they're going to be shorter because they know that they don't have as much room to grow. This is a peppermint plant. Peppermint plant right here. Got some corn growing in amongst the potatoes. They stayed extremely short. They were supposed to be a dwarf corn, but I think that's a little bit more dwarf than they were supposed to be. Let's see, sorry about that. Going around a little farther. Gotta lift the whole tripod up and over. Got one bed of potatoes pulled out. I'll have a potato harvest video out real soon. Tomatoes are doing good. My peas are done. I just got a few left on the vine that I'm letting the seeds dry. Do a full how to harvest pea seeds video on them. This was my Siberian kale. Let it go to seed. I'm gonna be collecting seeds off of it. The bees love it. Earlier in the day, especially, but even right now, they still get a little bit of honeybee action going on. Really happy with that. My zucchini plants, I've got a few issues with them. I'm working on it. I just did a foliar spray of calcium. If you'd like, let me know, and I can show you how to make a calcium spray. to add to the plants to prevent blossom end rot on squash. It can also be used on tomatoes for people that have issues with their tomato plants having blossom end rot. So this over here is my early girl tomato. Behind it, that one is a persimmon, and these two are better bush, I believe. My purple peas, they've been done for a little while. Yeah, they're done and ready to harvest. Let me know if this is still coming through. Yeah, so peas, super easy to do the harvest on that. I have a video on my channel about what to do to make sure these don't develop the insects. So there's weevils that can get into peas. Most likely that little mark on it. I don't know if you see it. There's a little mark right there, right in front of my finger. That let's see if this helps. No, I'll make a video about harvesting peas, but that's the leftover. What's left of my purple potted peas. I took out a bunch of my nasturtiums. They were just causing everything to have issues. They were growing really large leaves, big, even twice the size of that. When I was really expecting my nasturtiums to look like this. So that's the majority of the garden here. I have another garden area at my grandfather's that I'll be posting soon. It's got my blue Hobie corn. This right here is actually a Japanese wholeless popcorn that I grew 2 years ago, saved the seed, replanted the seed this year, and I wanted to see what it would do for me. A couple weeks ago, I did a... Sorry about all the shakiness. Lost my footing for a second. Sorry about that. A few weeks ago, I started some sweet corn. This one's just a hybrid peaches and cream corn. I had done a batch for a neighbor. They asked that I start some garden seeds for them and their community garden, and I ended up having a bunch of the extra sweet corn, and I wanted to see what I can do. So I've got 33 sweet corns planted in this 4x4 garden bed. Previously, I'd had some herbicide issues. I feel I had some herbicide issues, but they seem to have been abated. The chemical is either broken down, or the amount of rain that we've had has really just washed the soil clean for it. And there's a good chance that it wouldn't affect the corn anyways, because it's a very different type of plant than the broadleaf plants that the herbicide was really attacking. This is a carrot. Trying to collect a little bit of seed off of it. Problem is with carrots and collecting carrot seeds, my neighbor has a bunch of Queen Anne's lace around, and there's a good chance that the Queen Anne's lace would come through and cross-pollinate to my carrot. Now, give me just a second and let me look to see if I've gotten any questions while I've been walking around. I haven't been able to look at the chat. Hey, Enraged Refuge. Oh, good. I'm glad. Glad you got your seeds, and you're planting some of the beans today. Sweet, 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 sweet. So then this is just kind of the area over here where I've got a bunch of my fruit, and it's a bit of a mess. Up in the top one is where I still have some soil up there that I need to test, because it was where my my spinach that never grew. A parsley seed did manage to grow in that soil after the seeds were going, or after the year was growing into the season pretty well. Some lettuce. That's a lettuce that's pretty much past its prime. I'm gonna be pulling that out soon. And then I had a mixed garden seed down below, kind of behind some weeds there, that it was supposed to be a salad mix, and they never grew right either, so I'll be pulling them out. Got strawberries that are done for the year, some garlic that's basically done for the year. Gonna be pulling those out soon. Probably give you a quick sample of what I might get out of some of this garlic. Not the biggest garlic, but not too bad. Okay, this is weird. Haven't really had that issue before. This is all one clove. It looks like yeah, it looks like an onion. That is so weird. I've not had that issue before where they didn't split into cloves. This was planted this spring, and it's a variety that my previous year I had planted in the fall. But yeah, no, they're not coming back with any clove lines. That is so weird. Or actually being broken up into multiple cloves. Very weird. Well, I'll harvest the rest of this out and make it into a video and do a little research on why that is. Why they're not formed into individual cloves. That'll be interesting. My grape, it's got some sun scorch going on. I need to find a shadier spot. I mean, it's shady now, but that's just because of the time of day. It's relatively full sun most of the morning to about 3 o'clock. A few other fruit and fruit bushes over there that I'd have to look to see what they actually are, but they're all doing really well. Got some pretty, very fragrant lilies over here. These ones have been here for a long time. Most years they're a lot taller than this year. Our soil, I think, is getting depleted in this bed, and I'm going to need to add some more amendments to it. This year, I did not have a good luck with my I did not have good luck with my rhubarb. Wow. I was at a loss for words, I'm sorry. My rhubarb just did not do well this year at all. It's kind of weird. This is the first year that I haven't had a good batch of rhubarb. This is asparagus fern. I let it fern out and put as much energy back into the roots as possible so that it will have a better harvest. This year, it's also producing the asparagus fruit, which will be jam-packed with a bunch of seeds. Just waiting for those to finish changing color and ripen, and I'll be able to harvest those up. A couple different vines, raspberry plants, things like that. This is a potato that I planted after the ones in the garden bed. Some of them are still flowering. Got one of the fruits on it. If I'm lucky, that will ripen up and I'll be able to collect true potato seed. And the thing that is really cool about potato seed is that that's the only way you get new varieties of potatoes. Yeah, that's the only way that you get new varieties of potatoes, is when, oh shoot, you save seed from the potato plant instead of just getting the tubers. I gotta go get into a shady spot again so that you guys can actually see me. Hold on for just a second. Yeah, let me just get back here into the shady area one more time and finish up this video. So let me get back to see what everybody's been talking about. Yeah, glad you got your seeds. Enrich Refuge, Deb. I just got, let's see here. Now I'm reading through some of the older things on the sorry about the chat on the screen. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know if I can get rid of the chat on the screen. I'm sorry, guys. Shallots are a member of the onion family, so it shouldn't have been like a yeah, it shouldn't be like that. Got excited to get them in the ground real quick. Thanks again. Just transplanted my rhubarb, broke it into 4, and they're sprouting new leaves. Really happy, really healthy. Also working. Okay, let's see here. I'm also working for a friend who farms garlic. We're starting to have a huge harvest Tuesday at 5:30. Almost 2 acres of garlic. Wow, that's a lot of garlic. 2 acres of garlic that's a lot of garlic. LA says, I got rhubarb last year and had no idea what to do with it. It might actually still be in the freezer. I got rid of the chat on the screen. Oh, the rhubarb came with some of the seedlings. Okay. So rhubarb. Okay, so you cut it up and you put it in the freezer. You probably will still need to rinse it, like as you're thawing it out. Rinse it really well. Make it and the water will get cloudy. Drain the water off. Rinse it again, and drain the water off. Then add sugar. And pretty much the best recipes are going to be a jam or a pie filling. That would be how I deal with rhubarb. It is going to be making it into some sort of jam or a pie filling. So I had the chat on the screen earlier. I thought that some people might like it being there, but if it's too distracting or being in the way, when I was doing my walk around, I could see how that would be distracting, and I'm sorry about that. But it is 5:11. I've got to get back into the house pretty soon. Got some more chores that need done before the day is over. I can probably answer one or two more questions if anybody's got any. Yeah, rhubarb. Rhubarb would do really well as a jam. I would still mix it with another fruit, probably. But so long as you get the oh geez, I'm out of blank for what it is, but there's a specific type of I'd like to say that it's like acylic acid, or it's a type of enzyme or acid in the stems that's still semi-toxic. And a lot of people will say rhubarb's not even a food. Why do people go to such work to try to make rhubarb into something that tastes good? It only tastes good in rhubarb strawberry pie. I don't know. I really enjoy the flavor of it, and unfortunately I wasn't able to grow any of it to harvest this year. Cinnamon sugar in the rhubarb. I could see that working. I can see that working really well. Let's see. I think I'm going to probably leave it here. Look for a new video to be out on Tuesday and Thursday, and I hope to see you all on Saturday again for another Q&A live stream. If you have comments, questions, ideas for videos, leave them in the comments below the video after this post, and I will be sure to look at them, and take them into consideration for future videos and topics for live streams. If yeah, I think that maybe next weekend we can have an actual topic on the live stream, have a article, or have a specific goal in mind. Start out the live stream for a couple minutes talking about a topic, and then move on to questions and answers. I think I'd like to set that format up. That way people can come onto the stream as they please and it'll still work for future viewing also. Okay, I've got to go look to see what's going on with my chickens now. Hold on. Yeah! Almost done! What's going on, girls? The chickens were going crazy. No. Oh, that's what's going on. My dog's trying to get in there. Great. So, one more thing to the honeydew list. I've got to fix the hatch on my chicken run. My dog managed to bust one of the latches and is trying to get in. Just what I needed. Alright, so Trisha says, no shade in the main garden. So this is in Arizona. No shade in the main garden that they have to water 3 times a day. They're not growing sweet potatoes, but they're growing yellow squash, butternut squash, pickle-sized cucumbers, Swiss chard, tomatoes, beefsteak, and chocolate cherry. Ooh, chocolate cherry. Lettuce. Green onions, ton of peppers, cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelon, zucchini, lots of stuff. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of good stuff. Know what all you're growing. That's pretty awesome, Trisha. I'm gonna be ending the stream, but you can feel free to finish watching it out. So, just finishing up. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking at the comments for when this video is finished, and taking everything into consideration and answering more questions then. I hope you all can grow your gardens, be ready for as much as possible, take care of yourselves and stay safe during these challenging times. Be sure to check out darkagegrowing.net for more seeds, and I'll be trying to get some more plant starts up on the website also. I have chocolate mint right now, and I have the pre-order for my sunchokes. Those will ship out as soon as I get a fall frost. Let's see. Oh, I will give this out here for you guys that are at the end of this video. If you type in ADAPT, A-D-A-T-P, ADAPT, in like ADAPT 2030, awesome channel, into the coupon code area on the website, you'll get 15% off of any orders of seed and plant starts that you grow, that you want to buy from my website if you buy. You guys all take care. It's been great hanging out with you, and that's where I'm going to leave this video. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.